All right. Sharon Osbourne. Sharon Osbourne says she got death threats, career blowback after her controversial talk exit. It was like I was dead, she says.
Wow.
Do you guys remember this? I'm curious because
I don't.
This is a recent interview, but this is from last year. Basically what happened is Piers Morgan, who we covered recently, I have my own opinions on Piers Morgan and whether he's authentic or means what he says, whatever. That's not important to this part of the discussion, but she got basically booted off of the talk because people got mad at Piers Morgan because he dared to criticize the great Meghan Markle, who of course we know is somebody that, along with Oprah Winfrey, you're not supposed.
She's part of the untouchable class.
Yes, you're not allowed to criticize them for any reason whatsoever. And she had the temerity when asked about what happened to Piers Morgan, because Piers Morgan criticized Meghan Markle. She says, I don't think he's racist. I think he's my friend. I think he's an all right guy. And of course, that was a very, very hot take because it is 2022. And of course, it's a hot take to defend your friend who had who dared to question literal, at the time, royalty and called the system into question. So, like I said, I still don't really care much for Piers Morgan. I think I don't think he's authentic. I don't think he means, especially all the stuff he's shoveling lately about like free speech and saying democracy 37 and a half times.
Culture, Jesus,
yes,
as we were saying.
Can I
also don't like
recap for
British.
my own sake?
Yes.
So this is a very confusing timeline. So Sharon Osbourne defends Piers Morgan
after he criticizes Meghan Markle and walks off his own show because he got into a debate with somebody on his show who got mad at him. They were upset at him for criticizing Meghan Markle.
So he criticizes royal and human embarrassment Meghan Markle.
Yes.
This is somehow bad.
Yes, you're not allowed to criticize Meghan Markle.
Good to know.
Yes.
So he criticizes her, gets booted off.
No, he doesn't. What happens is
off.
He stormed off.
Their argument.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then basically it became public knowledge, right? And they kept talking about it. And so because Sharon Osbourne is friends with Piers Morgan, she got asked by people who said, like, look, how do you feel about what happened to Piers Morgan?
So Sharon Osbourne, like media celebrity, says, I like my friend.
Yes.
And the response is, you should kill yourself.
The response was that she had to issue an apology. She had to issue an apology. So we'll do that first. We'll just get into that part first. So it says,
because then she was offending against Meghan Markle as well.
By defending.
By not trashing her friend.
So every single comment is like how many steps removed you are from insulting Meghan Markle?
Kind of.
Who isn't even royalty anymore, by the way.
Nope.
Right.
So this article, it says, Sharon Osbourne says she got death threats and career blowback after her controversial talk exit. It was like I was dead. Sharon Osbourne is opening up about her departure from the talk last year, which she says resulted in death threats and missed career opportunities. In an interview with the Sunday Times Magazine, the former reality star and wife of rocker Ozzy Osbourne addressed the fallout from her exit from the CBS daytime talk show. Osbourne left after having a major argument with co-host Cheryl Underwood during the show's March 10th, 2021 episode about Piers Morgan and his criticism of Meghan Markle. Osbourne faced backlash for defending her, quote, very good friend, Morgan, against accusations that his attacks on the Duchess were racist and later issued a public apology. She did not issue that public apology out of actual desire for forgiveness. She was held to the fire and basically bullied into it.
And I really almost don't respect that, because when the mob is coming for you and you apologize, you're legitimizing that they have the moral high ground, and you're then setting it up for them to attack other people later on.
And if you look at history in the terms of like if all you knew about any of these people was through the lens of like what your Google results tell you, right? So you like if you're looking at any of these people's lives and you're looking at it through you're looking down all the articles that are being written for them and use it as a timeline. Now forever in that timeline there says Sharon Osbourne issues apology.
And then that means you're admitting fault. You're ceding ground to the mob. Mm-hmm. That's just not an option at this point. But like, also, she's just this scared old lady, so who can blame her?
Which is what they want. They don't want you to actually be sorry. They want you to repent, so and admit
shame. Ding, 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 ding.
Exactly.
Shame.
So remember, it's racist to attack Meghan Markle, who's literal royalty. You're not allowed to do that. So
I'm going to take a wild guess and say that nothing he said had anything to do about race.
No.
But it's like, if you criticize her as part of the royal family, then you're legitimizing the fact that like the royal family is racist in and of itself as a political structure.
Yep.
It's obviously very convoluted. It makes no sense.
So it says, soon she was facing allegations that she herself was racist, prompting an investigation. I love that there's an investigation.
Oh, yeah.
We're investigating. We're collecting the evidence.
We've got our eyes on you.
Find some money on that.
Prompting an investigation and reports claiming that she had mocked talk co-panelist Julie Chen Moonves, who is Asian American, while Osbourne, 69, told the Sunday Times magazine she feels terrible about using a slur in reference to the TV personality. She disputes claims that she said anything about her eyes. So she said spicy things. She shouldn't have said that. I don't know if there were claims. She's saying she didn't say that, right?
Yeah.
But what the problem is now, they've convoluted the ability to criticize. So it's like there's a difference between saying something inherently racist about another person and criticizing another person who just happens to look differently than you. And the media gladly and happily conflates the two with utter glee because they know that it spins good narrative and makes for good copy when they're printing these articles. Quote, they said to me, "You're on permanent suspension. We don't think that you're repentant enough." And we will decide whether you ever come back. And I said, who's going to make that decision? And they said, we can't tell you, said Osbourne, who left for good on March 26th of last year. Soon the death threats began. They were saying they were going to come in the night, cut my throat, cut Ozzy's throat, cut my dog's throat, Osbourne shared, adding that her career also took a blow stateside. My phone, as far as my TV career here, was non-existent. Not one call, nothing, she said. In England and Australia, it never changed. Here, it was like I was dead. America, as I'm going to say every time I get this opportunity, America is a crackhead. America is a heroin addict that is addicted to racism, addicted to any type of divisive socio-political agenda that involves race, gender, ideological means. It's addicted to it. And it inherently shows that what she said, whether what she said was stupid or not, the phone didn't stop ringing in Australia or England. It did stop ringing here, but only for so long, right? So it's like, how are we to take these people to actually mean what they say?
That's interesting because pop culture is international at this point. So why would it matter
that it was here?
Like
it's like America is right now. It is addicted to grievance. Highly addicted, and it needs
it's more like we're just addicted to anything that's not reality because reality is so horrifyingly confusing.
Yep. Primarily, Osbourne stayed at home to avoid conflicts with the public. She underwent months of ketamine therapy. She calls a truth drug. I said I ain't going out. I ain't doing anything. I just couldn't stop crying because all I was thinking about was all the things I've done that I've gone through in my life, and now they're calling me a racist. This is insanity. She said they don't care about truth. They don't care about honesty. They just want somebody to demonize. And it doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter how famous you are. In fact, they love taking down celebrities a peg.
This article is like the perfect representation of the American education system as well as the mental health state of the country.
Yep.
Okay. So, here's the logic. You are insulting and making it unsafe for a black woman. Thus, we must kill you.
Yeah. Death threats.
Again, you're making it unsafe, thus we must kill you.
Yep.
That's the logic.
There is no logic to it in my mind. There's just a lot of anger.
There is logic to it. That's it.
Like
that's
there's a lot of,
the mental framework.
There's a lot of anger. There's a lot of hatred. There's a lot of disdain coming from people that it breaks my heart to see this stuff. It says, in the entertainment industry, everyone's a hypocrite. Everyone's a job's worth. Everybody overnight becomes politically correct and walks on eggshells, said Osbourne. It says, everybody's scared of saying something wrong that somebody would tell and sell. It's like, can you imagine being like we're blessed to have like a job where we are free to talk about these things without worry about even, because here's the thing, we don't even have to say the things that they're saying. Just by covering it in a more even-handed way, you're the bad guy now.
Yeah, like Papa John's. Like he got fired for saying, don't say it.
Yep. Yeah. The context didn't matter. They hate him anyways.
Noise.
It says, it's no way to bloody live. I don't want it. I don't need it. It's just our time to go home. I don't want to be judged. how they feel is how I feel most of the time, and I'm not even from that industry. Like, I'm just sick of a world that's ready at all points in time to just destroy another person based on hearsay and statements taken out of context.
And then even recognizing the personhood of somebody who is undergoing that implicates you as well.
Yeah, you're not allowed to. You're the bad guy now too for even being in the joke. I was like, because now you're not allowed to work with her, because if you work with her, it's professional grievance cooties. Where if you're to do this, you're bad like her just for having taking a job that works alongside her.
But at the same time, like, I've seen this canceling happen before where everyone just kind of memory holes it eventually.
It's weird.
That's why. That's honestly why you shouldn't address it. You shouldn't apologize. You shouldn't talk about it.
They should take advantage.
Just ignore it, and then it does go away. That's the most disturbing part of it.
Give it 2 days. They'll go to the next one.
Yeah.
Like, all their thing is like the novelty of the life they can ruin.
They
materializes instantly if you ignore it.
Twitter loves to destroy lives. It's what they live for. They
Right.
don't have. It's like it scares me because it's so antithetical to who I am. But the idea that they can like get joy from terrorizing other people.
And like, Twitter is ground zero for these mobs of people just like searching for any possible wrongdoing, like wrong speak.
Yep.
But claims to be an open platform,
And the opposite
and
of
like
that.
It
It
makes a big show of it too.
It's approved harassment. It's whoever's
Right.
on the it's on the harassment's okay as long as it's part of a person that's been deemed by a generic group of people. That person's okay to try to ruin their life. That person is okay to drive them towards wanting to end their own life because
Flavor of the week.
yeah. And it's sickening to me. It says Sharon Osbourne is apologizing. This is the older article. It says Sharon Osbourne is apologizing after defending Piers Morgan, but he thinks she's been bullied into it, and he's absolutely right. Her statements in the newer article prove that. She says they don't care if it's true or not. All they care about is to see you bend the knee and see you submit to their authority, which is insane. So he just talks about it here. Now, again, I want to reiterate that I don't have any faith in Piers Morgan as any type of like crusader for anything real, good, or honest. I think he's selling a product now that he pivoted very quickly after his outburst. He doesn't like the idea of, he thought Meghan Merkel was lying about stuff in her interview with Oprah about what do you call it? Discrimination she had faced. Whether that's true or not is irrelevant. The point is that he's not even allowed to share that opinion of his, which is just an opinion. It's not truth. It's not lies. It's just his opinion of what he thinks happened in that situation, which, whether we like his opinion or not, whatever your thoughts are on that, should not be something that you demonize him for and make him walk off a set. Right. So I don't think he is any type of person to follow as a better example of a human being. Like I said, I think all of these people are selling you something on some level.
He's claiming that he wants to uncancel the canceled, re-platform the deplatformed, and things that he has no power to do. Yeah. Nor would he do if he did have the power, actually. So, I mean, yeah, I don't think he has integrity, but he might have a genuine bone to pick.
I don't think the first episode of like his new show is gonna be with Milo. You know what I mean?
No.
Did something come out recently about like where the former President Trump was like proved that he did not storm off of some interview with him or something? Like they proved that they sat and like were like talking after the interview, and so the whole thing was fabricated.
Was it like expertly edited?
Yeah, it was selectively edited or something like that. I read something about that very recently. So I don't know if like he came out with the proof of that. So it just proves to you that if that's true, having not have the information in front of me, that he's part of the same media spin machine.
He's a hack, but like
they're all hacks.
If it affects his personal friend, then it's a different story.
Yeah,
I think that's what this is.
I bet the show Uncanceled will be him canceling the cancelers.
There's never any.
It's just doubling down on canceling. Yeah.
There's never any integrity or actual morals. It's all just whatever gets them to the next job.
Yeah.
So I find all of it kind of really, really sad because to me, a lot of people still hold up most of these celebrities as something to aspire to, or as if they're truth tellers speaking truth to power. You're right. You're not doing that. And the people that celebrate somebody like Sharon Osbourne in this article talking about how she wanted to. So she was driven to drug use. To ketamine, like I don't know about anything about ketamine as like a treatment for anything other than it's a horse tranquilizer and it's a club drug. Here
it also is used to treat some pain as like a non-opioid drug, but it's mostly just like for psychedelic purposes otherwise.
So and she's got I believe it says that he's got Parkinson's disease, so she's dealing with Ozzy. So she's dealing with that, and there's all this stuff going on, and to me it's just like I see these stories and I'm like, they'll never end. We're gonna get stories like this forever. The only thing that's ever going to change is the who, the what.
But they're getting sillier and more tepid by the day. So that means like
is this how you've been saying the pendulum's swinging the other way and
correct.
the vibes are shifting?
So you see this as we're moving into a new territory with stories like this?
We're just moving in like a different vibe entirely. So like so compare this to like the cancellations of old. I mean, sure you get like
Can you give like a good example for people?
Well, like there was a lady that made. This is one of the examples you get canceled just for saying it. But the lady said she was like, I'm traveling to Africa. Better not get AIDS, teehee. Like she puts a tweet about that. The second she gets on a plane for a job, it goes to Africa.
Yeah.
The second she gets off the plane, she's fired.
Really?
Like she got fired mid-flight.
That was just an ordinary person though. Not ordinary
ordinary person.
What about a public figure who has been like, has any public figure been permanently
I keep
canceled?
going. One of the things that I find interesting is that it's the more and more that people who aren't who you'd think would be, but keep making it back, and that's like Mel Gibson, who never seems to be fully like. It's like maybe the repentance worked for him because he really came to change his ways.
They just nerf you. You know how video games they make you weaker, like you're not as like strong. Like Louis C.K. is not the Louis C.K. of old. You know what I mean? Like he's like nerfed Louis C.K. He's like 70% Louis C.K. And like you can be like, he's still doing stand up, but he's like doing a third of what he did.
I think he's doing much better now because he's working on his own.
I mean, maybe you're talking about in terms of his art,
yes,
perhaps, but not in terms of his reach, not in terms of his like clout.
Yep. And then Johnny Depp. Johnny Depp was socially canceled by the studios and stuff
America's
like that.
darling.
And then now he's come back around, and the pendulum seems to be swinging back on him because the public seems to be far more in support of him rather than Amber Heard. But the pendulum swing as far as the companies has not. She's still getting all the work. She's still the darling of the industry, whereas he's been outcast by those in the industry there.
It seems like only celebrity cancellations can turn the other way around, but like cancellations on ordinary people like the one you mentioned are permanent because they don't have built-in power and influence
or the capital.
I think the cancellation sets foot when you apologize. If you apologize, you're canceled forever. If you're like, you know what? You suck and you'll forever suck.
It's the ultimate shit test.
Yep.
It's just seeing if you'll give in.
Yeah, it is that. So if you're like, hell no, I hate you guys, then you just rebranded yourself. And then you'll take the positives and negatives of that.
And the worst part about this, it forces you to rebrand to something maybe you didn't want to be.
And also, it forces you to live with the consequences of your actions more than apologizing and learning and listening ever will.
Yeah.
If you don't apologize and you live with the consequences of that, that's more mature than, some fake,
if you're wrong,
insincere apology.
They say, especially when the apology is not. So you should apologize when you sincerely believe that you've done wrong.
Yeah.
But
like faux compassion.
Social pressure to apologize is never a recipe for honesty.
Oh, apology means nothing if you don't mean it.
Exactly.
Like if I spilled that water on you and I was like, sorry, Mary. Like what was the apology really?
Fun fact.
It wasn't nothing. It was like me covering my ass. And that's all these people are doing. So like cancellations are disingenuous, and since people's response to cancellation is disingenuous, burn. That's the world. But if you get a disingenuous cancellation, you're like, this is disingenuous, this is my everyone can go fuck themselves, then my bad. Then, the counterculture will see what it does with you. And typically, they welcome you with open arms.
I remember Aaron Rodgers got in trouble for expressing questions about vaccines and stuff like that. All he did was say
because he's allergic to the material within it.
Yeah. So and he got in trouble and he eventually had to apologize and he did that and he kind of gave in. But what originally happened is he didn't want to do that. He said, "Look, I don't want to be a political figure for either side. I just want to live my life," and that's what they want, but they make it something it's not. Something you should have a say in whether you're seen that way, but you don't. And that is very disheartening to me.
People just don't have the resilience these days mentally to not apologize.
I mean, it's hard.
I would say it's hard. Back in the day, strength meant that you had to bulk up and get ready to fight someone, and that fight lasts an hour at the most. You fight with somebody, it takes a couple of minutes before somebody drops. If you go into battle, those battles only last so long. The internet means you're in a constant state of torture. If this type of thing happens to you, you cannot escape it. You cannot get away from it.
You can.
Not if you want to. Okay, let me say this. Realistically, if you want to be connected to the world.
You mean if your career is involved in it?
I'm saying that if you want to live a normal life like an everyday person, have a computer, have a phone, be connected to the people around you. You got family who uses Facebook, and so you have to constantly be around the source where all of that hatred will come from.
Or you take the Dane font route. And by the way, very few people in the entire world are on social media more than me because it's my profession. So you could go my route and you have all your things private and you talk to the people you love and you trust and people you've made smart calculations as to why this person can see dimensions of me that I'm ready to put out there. And that's that. It's what you said. Everyone has to act like they're a president. No, everyone has to act like they're a marketing manager.
Yep. Thanks for watching this clip, guys. If you want to see full episodes or follow us on social media, links are in the description below. Bye.
Bye.